Episode 351. Houston, we have an email problem.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
One of the astronauts currently on their way to the moon just had to call NASA for IT support. The problem? Microsoft Outlook. 2 copies of it on their laptop, not knowing which one to use.
Hello and welcome back to AI6. I'm Joanne Sweeney on a mission not to the moon, but to upskill 500,000 people in AI 6 minutes at a time.
And today, I promise you, is one of those episodes that is in equal parts funny and genuinely worth thinking about. So on the 1st of April, 2026, NASA launches Artemis 2 from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's the first crewed mission to the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972, 53 years ago. The crew of 4 are Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Koch, all NASA astronauts, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. Their 10-day mission will take them around the far side of the moon and back, setting a record for the farthest any humans have ever travelled from Earth at roughly 252,000 miles. An historic moment. But within hours of launch, it became a viral tech support story. A Blue Sky user watching the live NASA broadcast caught a real exchange between one of the crew and mission control in Houston. The astronaut reported that their portable computing device, the laptop they use for schedules, procedures and communications, had an issue. Their exact words:
I also see that I have 2 Microsoft Outlooks and neither one of those are working. If you want to remote in and check the Optimus and those 2 Outlooks, that would be awesome.
And mission control said yes, they'd remote in and take a look. NASA on the most ambitious crewed mission in half a century, remoting in a laptop to fix Outlook. You couldn't make it up. But there's the other side to this story. While one astronaut is wrestling with Outlook, something entirely different is quietly running underneath the entire mission. Artemis 2 is the most AI-assisted crewed spaceflight in history. The trajectory and life support monitoring of Orion is handled by advanced algorithms and digital twin simulations running continuously. In the Apollo era, those tasks required teams of specialists working by hand in mission control, cross-checking calculations on paper and calling numbers across the room. Today, that layer of work runs automatically, with AI doing the monitoring and flagging anomalies in real time. So, of course, we have to look at this striking contrast on the same mission. AI managing life support in the background without a word, and Outlook failing on a laptop in the foreground, and requiring a human to fix it. And so what does this tell us about our dependence on Microsoft tools? And it goes beyond the space story. If you are an organisation that has built your workflows on Microsoft 365, whether that's Outlook, Teams, Word, or increasingly Copilot, you're betting that it works. Most of the time it does, but when it doesn't, the disruption is immediate and it cuts across the entire organisation because everything is connected. And I spoke about this in episode 235 when I covered the NHS Copilot trial, the productivity gains of 43 minutes saved per worker per day across 30,000 staff. But what struck me then and what the story brings back into focus is the question of, well, what happens when the tool goes down? The NHS did not just adopt Copilot as a nice extra, they built it into daily operations. And that efficiency gain only holds if the system holds. And right now, at the frontier of space exploration, an astronaut is on the phone to IT about exactly that question. PC Gamer noted in their coverage that Microsoft is actually working on rebuilding Outlook as a fully native Windows application, moving away from the current web wrap version that is known to be slower and less reliable. So that's a positive direction, but it also confirms that they have a problem and not just a once-off glitch in space. So there's a useful lesson for all of us building AI-powered workflows on top of commercial platforms. The AI that monitors Orion's life support does not make the news because it works. The Outlook failure made the news because it didn't. When we build AI into our operations, we tend to celebrate the wins, the hours saved, the content produced, the administration that is automated. But what we don't always plan for is the moment that it lets us down. So we've got to ask ourselves, what's the backup? When something breaks in your workflow, no matter what commercial platform you're using, and when there's an outage, what do you do? The astronauts on Artemis 2 are fine. Outlook was not load-bearing, but in your organization, some of these tools might be. And if you've not thought about that, well, this is a good week to start. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organization. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI 6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.